You probably believe that your cat's purr is the ultimate I love you, right? I'm sorry to tell you, but you've been misled. Behavioral science proves that purring is almost mechanical. Cats purr out of hunger, pain, and even to heal themselves. If you want the real biological proof that your cat considers you its mother or father, and not just a human who opens cans of food, you need to look for a silent signal that lasts exactly 2 seconds. It's a genetic surrender code that 90% of owners ignore every day, thinking it's just a normal look. But for a feline, that gesture is a tactical suicide in the name of love. If your cat does this, it isn't just living with you. It has placed its own survival in your hands. I'm going to reveal now what that signal is, why it's more powerful than any meow, and the fatal mistake you may be making that destroys this trust in the blink of an eye. Purring is instinctive, almost mechanical. Cats purr to heal themselves, to ask for food, and even when they are in pain. If you want the real proof, the biological seal that he considers you the ultimate maternal or paternal figure, you need to observe a silent signal that lasts only 2 seconds. Most owners go their entire lives without noticing this invisible kiss. They search for affection in grand gestures while the cat is screaming its devotion in the silence of a fraction of a second. What your cat truly desires at the instinctual level is not your treat or your expensive toy, it desires the security of your soul. For a feline, a solitary predator by nature, love is not a spectacle, it is surrender. 1. The error of physical proof versus ocular vulnerability. Most people make the mistake of waiting for the cat to come and ask for affection to validate love. They believe physical contact is the only emotional currency. However, in nature, direct and fixed eye contact is a declaration of war or a hunting tactic. It is pure predation. The biological secret lies in what science calls the slow blink. When your cat looks at you and for exactly 2 seconds slowly closes its eyes and reopens them, it is not sleepy. It is committing a tactical suicide in front of you. By closing its eyes, it shuts down its main defense system and interrupts environmental monitoring. It is telling its DNA, I trust my life to this human. If it does this, it does not see you as a roommate. It sees you as its safe harbor, exactly as a kitten sees its mother in the nest. The space invasion versus pheromone mapping. Do you try to hug your cat and it dodges you? You interpret that as coldness or rejection. This is the second major mistake. For felines, human hands descending from above are interpreted by the reptilian brain as the claws of birds of prey. The technical solution is the inverted nose greeting. Observe whether when approaching you, it slightly lifts its nose toward you for 2 seconds before turning its face away or rubbing its cheek against you. It is chemically reading you. It does not want your suffocating hug. It wants to confirm that your smell is the smell of the clan. It is a recognition of lineage. If you feel that you now understand your cat on a level that few achieve, tap the like button and subscribe. Here, we decode what human language cannot explain, so your connection with those you love becomes unbreakable. 3. The myth of the gift versus neural mirroring. Many people believe a cat brings prey or a toy because it wants to feed you. The psychological truth is deeper. It is exercising the role of mentor because it believes you are a big kitten who has not yet learned to survive alone. But the 2-second signal you should look for here is the delayed response. When you sit down on the couch, observe if your cat stops what it is doing, looks at you for 2 seconds, and then decides to groom itself or yawn. This behavior indicates that it has just validated your presence as a low-pressure zone. It mirrors your state of relaxation. If you are calm, it feels safe enough to lower its guard. This is not just coexistence, it is a synchronization of nervous systems that proves it chose you as the guardian of its peace. Now that you have decoded the silence of the eyes, we must dive into the biological structure that sustains this hierarchy of affection. For a cat to consider you mother or father, it does not seek an owner, it seeks a sanctuary. What your feline truly desires at the deepest emotional level is your predictability. In nature, the unexpected is synonymous with danger. That is why a soul connection with a cat is not built in moments of euphoria, but in the constancy of your energy. The mistake most people make is projecting complex human emotions onto a being that operates on sensory frequencies far more refined than ours. 4. The error of the high-pitched voice versus the resonance of safety. We instinctively speak to beings we love in high, fast, excited tones. To the human ear, that is affection. To a cat's ultra-sensitive auditory system, it sounds like the cry of wounded prey or a stress alarm.
The scientific explanation is clear. Cats communicate with their maternal figures through low-frequency vibrations and guttural sounds that are almost imperceptible. The 2-second signal you should observe here is the selective auditory delay. When you call it by name and it takes exactly 2 seconds to turn only its ears towards you without moving its head or body, it has just given you the greatest compliment possible. It is processing your voice as an integral and safe part of its environment. It does not need to enter alert mode because your voice is the white noise that guarantees everything is fine. It does not obey you like a dog. It integrates you into its own survival map. 5. The error of pursuit versus the geometry of respect. The more you chase a cat's affection, the more its biology forces it to move away. It is the psychology of scarcity in its purest form. The common mistake is invading its space when it looks cute, interrupting the animal's cycle of rest or grooming. The technical solution is what we call the conscious attention vacuum. If you want it to recognize you as the leader of the pack, you must master the art of being present without being invasive. When you enter a room where it is, do not go directly to it. Pause for 2 seconds in the doorway, look at a neutral point, and continue your task. This simulated disinterest signals to the feline brain that you are a high-status individual, calm and non-threatening. It is in this vacuum that the cat feels the irresistible impulse to approach and rub its face against you, the famous bunting, which is the act of marking you as its sacred property. The supreme tip, the passive presence technique. There is a practice presented by behavior specialists as the most powerful tool to create an unbreakable bond, and it does not require you to say a single word or make a single movement. It is the side glance rule. Once a day, choose a moment when your cat is relaxed. Sit on the floor at the same level as it, about 2 meters away. Do not use your phone, do not read, do not try to touch it. Just breathe rhythmically and deeply. When it notices your presence and looks at you, do not hold the gaze. That is a challenge. Instead, look at its shoulder, count 2 seconds, and let out a long sigh, relaxing your shoulders. That sigh communicates directly to the cat's autonomic
nervous system that the environment is free of predators. You are saying in a language that crosses millennia of evolution, I take care of this space, so you can simply be. Within a few days, you will notice that it begins to sleep closer to you, expose its belly more often, and follow you not for food, but for your vibration. Because in the end, for a cat, being father or mother is not about who provides the food, but about who is capable of sharing silence without fear. Your cat's love is a puzzle, and at FelineIQ, we give you the missing pieces. Subscribe now so you don't miss the next biological secret that will change the way it looks at you. Leave a like if you are also a dedicated guardian.